right, so welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys. We're doing conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentaries on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about Married at First Sight in Nashville, so you already know what to do by now. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications,
and share.
We'll see you in the comments, and consider becoming a member and checking out the merch store.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Airris and Jasmine.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, a little bit, just to give you all a little behind the scenes, this is take 2 because we forgot to film the first one.
We forgot to hit record.
We forgot to hit record, so we had to kind of come down because we were getting a little irritated.
we were
talking through it.
We were
so anyway, yes. Anyway, Airris meets with Devon Franklin, and they're meeting separately, right? And he does talk to her about one of he talks to her. You know what I'm saying?
No, you said Airris meets with Devon Franklin.
I'm sorry. Jasmine meets with Devon Franklin first.
All right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Jumping 3 stories ahead. All right. So Jasmine meets with Devon Franklin, and the thing that they talk about is kind of how she has a tendency to sweep things under her emotional rug. Yeah. And she talks about all the stuff that Airris went through and how traumatic his life was, what have you, and she kind of glosses over her story.
Correct.
And Devon's like, no, baby girl, your bullying, your trauma, you had some stuff you had to deal with too, so stop sweeping it under that rug. Let's pull it out. Let's deal with the dirt. Let's deal with the issues so that you can be healthy.
Right, because she's downplaying this relationship.
Right.
What's going on. And she didn't share her bullying years with her parents, but she just, as she says, sweeps it under the rug and go home like life is fine. And here she is in a marriage trying to call herself being strong and not acknowledging or allowing Airris just to decide to kind of treat her any way he feels he should. Right. And she's not verbalizing what she needs.
Until she has a breakdown moment like she had last week.
Exactly. So. And she has to understand that this is also hindering the relationship. Her not speaking up for herself or getting people, or her recognizing the pain that she's actually feeling concerning this.
Yep.
And so, we can focus on the other person, but you can't make anybody do anything, but you can work on yourself. Right. And how can I better myself so I can work through this?
Yes. And again, people can only treat you the way that you allow them to treat them. Exactly. The way you allow them to treat you.
Exactly.
So the first time, okay, they did that. Now, how they treat you after that, that's on you to keep allowing that without any, hey, no, that don't work. No. I remember my dad used to tell me, I know we don't teach kids this as much, but my dad would always tell me, if they hit you, hit them back. Make sure that and make sure they never want to hit you again is what Gary Crawley would put it, right? Because it was basically, if you allow them to hit you, they could continue to keep doing that. But if you put an end to it,
But we don't promote violence on this show.
But you come for me, I'm coming for you. All right. That's the way Gary taught me. All right. So then, what's his name? Airris meets with Devon as well. And again, Devon is like, okay, let's talk, bro. What do you find appealing about her? Because you keep talking about you're not attracted to her. You find her attractive, but you're not attracted to her. What do you find appealing about her? What is it that you're like, okay, that's good about her?
He names off like 5 things. It wasn't like he had a hard time.
Right.
I mean, and I was like, okay. And it's like those things, even what they were able to capture through every episode, I saw that. I was like, okay, yeah, okay, I hear you. But yet, none of that can spark something for you.
Right, because he says something to the effect of, he wants to be attracted to her, but he can't.
He doesn't. He does not want to be attracted to her. He just does not. And it's okay. This is what we keep telling. Look, if you hear me, it's okay. just call it quits.
Mm-hmm.
You allow the experts, and they did a good job. You keep saying, I know why they put us together. I know why they put us together. But at the same time, you're not embracing what you're seeing as all the good things.
Right.
And you just got in your head, I got this type.
You basically like, all this is great, but she ain't got Megan Thee Stallion or Serena trailing behind her. So
look, if she can buy it. Is that necessary?
Listen, some grits every morning, some steak and potatoes.
For some people, they never get.
True.
But I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. Because once you meet that person and they don't have some of the characteristics of the inside that you should desire from a person, what their morals and principles are, don't match up to you.
Yep.
What is all that can disappear in a moment? Or you meeting them, and then when the next time you wake up in the morning and it's laying on the couch or in the chair beside you. So they done fooled you based on for your type, and then it's laying beside you.
Listen.
In a chair.
Waking up to a whole different person.
They done took half of their body off. So I just wish she would just say, I'm deciding not to choose her.
Mm-hmm.
We're cool. I don't have to ever see her again.
Yep.
And move on.
And be done. So all the couples go out to whiskey tasting and line dancing.
Correct.
So they sit down, they're talking. As far as Jasmine and Airris, the main thing, of course, is that they just talk about the breakdown that she had.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, so, Airris, again, he really doesn't say a whole lot of anything.
He's just like, oh, she got to bring that up.
It's like, oh, you going to bring that up again? Nicole, what you got to say about that? Because y'all know Nicole talk a lot. All right, so then they do go to line dancing, right? And this is where things get a little because everybody's you see everybody dancing with their person.
They're line dancing first,
right? Because they're showing them the steps, the instructor showing the steps, all that stuff, and then they kind of break off and pair off. Well, Airris is still kind of in his own little world, dancing. The instructor is right there in the vicinity of him, right?
Closer than Jasmine.
Much closer than Jasmine. Jasmine's like, oh, you can't dance with me, but you're going to dance with her?
I'm done.
She walks out.
I'm finished.
No, I'm sorry. She didn't walk out. She stormed out.
She grabbed her phone.
Producer was like, wait.
No. I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. I'm not doing this.
So Airris does come out. He at least is wise enough to go after her. Or at least the producer gave him the instruction, because y'all know Airris don't do nothing on his own.
You need to go now.
Yeah. So the other producer was like, go get her. I should walk out that way? Okay. So he goes after her, and he basically, his excuse is that he thought because he was so horrible at line dancing that the instructor was giving him a little extra attention to help him get better.
I call BS. You didn't show any interest. You weren't even standing close to her. You see all the other couples dancing, and you're looking kind of like towards the other couples and towards the instructor. So probably the instructor felt awkward that you're staring at her. You're not looking at your wife. And that's why Jasmine's upset. And Jasmine's like, look, I'm on this phone giving me an Uber. I'm about to go back to the apartment. About to get in this Uber and go back to the apartment.
She could be an Uber share for all she cares. She's like, I got to ride with 3 other people to get where I got to go. I'm going.
So, and they get back, and he's kind of like apologizing, but when they get in front of Dr. Pepper.
Well, and then y'all know we had to at least have one scene this season with them black and white cameras that they have whenever there's something that happens after production's gone home. So he's sleeping on the couch. So, but yeah, Dr. Pepper visits, and Dr. Pepper's like, okay, what happened? What have you? All of a sudden now it's like, She stormed down. I think it was just over the top. She was just doing too much.
I'd have like, ninja, that's it.
And some of y'all know what we mean when we say ninja.
That's it. I've been like, you know how I get when you say something, you better know you're wrong for saying it.
Like, you really gonna say that? You really formed your mouth.
Okay, to say that.
Okay.
Out of all the things you could say.
I got you.
All the things you could say right now.
Listen,
that's what you're coming up with?
Jasmine, I'm not advocating this, Jasmine, but if you ever just want to take a cue from the woman that burned Al Green, some of y'all know that story.
I'm just like, are you really just saying that right now? And it's a buildup. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just, you would start dancing with the instructor. You had so many options to try to make connections over all these weeks. Mm-hmm. And here's an area after we had 2 experts come and see us in the last 2 or 3 weeks, whatever time period, and you still refuse to take the effort. He was like with her like he was on a blind date or something. Like, I'm here with you, but I really don't want to be here with you.
Yeah, I've been on one of those.
So I'm like, dude, just fess up like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. But he won't do it. So Dr. Pepper's like, can somebody give me smoke signals? Are we done? Like, is SOS going up or not?
She asked the question, do you see a possibility for this marriage? And Airris behind says, yeah, I see a possibility. Dude.
I would have called him out. If I was Dr. Pepper, like, really? Are you sure? It's like, because I'm not seeing it. I would like, I'm not seeing it.
You are killing every possibility for it. But here's the thing that I was looking at. Jasmine fell for the gaslighting. Because as he's saying it, she's like,
I was like, girl. I'm like, when you're at a point, granted, okay, you're not expressing yourself.
Right.
You're not telling him what you need. You're allowing this, to go on as far as what your needs are not being met, and putting your foot down and saying, I need to see some changes for us to move forward.
Right.
And since you're not doing that, then you're allowing him to continue what they call lead you on. Mm-hmm. It's like leading you on. Like, I'll tell you just enough so I can you'll just keep following me, that give me this potential of some type of fantasy. Because even Devon said this to her. Do you want to live in reality or you want to stay in a fantasy land?
And right now it's not even that she wants to live in fantasy land. She wants to live in the idea of a fantasy land.
Or the idea of marriage, right? Because a lot of times we do get caught up in the idea of marriage, and no one wants to be divorced. I totally get that. Mm-hmm. But if you're at a place where you're like, okay, let's work on it, but I need to see continuous effort. Mm-hmm. If we're saying this is the deal breaker,
right? Not
continuous effort, like, okay, we mess up, whatever, we try, we don't try. But I'm talking about you have deal breakers. You're saying you're not attracted to me and we're not gaining connection.
Because something else she says when she's talking to Dr. Pepper is that there are times where she doesn't hear from him unless she reaches out or unless she calls him during the day. That if it's up to him, he just comes into the house, gives her a heads up, and then goes wherever he needs to go.
Yeah, she said, what did you say when you come in? What's up?
Dude.
What?
Dude.
So I'm a roommate, not a friend. I'm a roommate. Because even your friends, you might want to check up with like, hey, what you want to do tonight? Blah, blah, blah. What's going on? How's your day going? I mean, you have a group chat with your friends. Like, y'all might do things or something may come up and you want to share with your friend. Mm-hmm. So you're all in the moment of laughing or joking or whatever together.
He just walk in and be like, and keep walking.
He don't know she done fell off a cliff or over a Tennessee bridge or something. He don't know. I would be so petty. I've been like, if you ain't gonna text me, I'm not texting you. I'm good.
All right, enough about them because I'm tired of them. I'm tired.
There's no guess there.
I'm tired, just like Jasmine tired. I'm tired, boss. Tired.
I just know at the end, like, we can like fast forward to the end of theirs and say, okay, they ain't gonna be together.
They are not gonna be together. I don't care what miracle comes up in the next 5 weeks or whatever. How many weeks? 11
like
days.
10 days.
11, 10 days. Ain't that?
There ain't that much miracle in the world.
Happening. Mm-mm. All right. So Chris and Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a conversation, and I'm gonna just say this: Nicole is gradually, not gradually. I'm just gonna put it out there. She irritating to me. All right, but anyway, she talks to Chris, and she says, I'm trying to get it. I'm looking at my notes.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to get it right?
I want to get it right. She says, when she wants space and to be left alone, she doesn't want him to do that. She wants him to actually pursue her, essentially, right? And then she was like, okay, well, if I say it this way, I want you to leave me alone. But if I say it this way, I want you to stay around and just hear me vent and what have you. He's like, what?
And she says, does that sound confusing?
Yes.
And Chris was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I need you to be very direct with me because I'm hearing you tell me something. And if you tell me that you want to be alone, I'm going to assume, because I hear you saying that you want to be alone. If you don't want to be alone and you want to vent, you need to say that.
Right.
And it's because she pretty much goes on to say, I am kind of like self-sabotaging. I'm pushing people away and I need someone to kind of help me get through that. And I guess kind of push her to stay in the moment and around people. But he's not a psychiatrist
or psychologist.
He's neither one.
No.
So I think it's not fair to put that on him.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
So, and he looking at her like, I don't know what you want me to do, but you're going to have to be very, very specific on what you need.
And then basically she needs more validation and more reassurance. But then she gives him an ultimatum. She's like, if you can't do that, you can just leave. Chris, take the cue. Take the cue, Chris.
Well, everyone has damage. Everyone broken. She's broken. So as he indicated, he said it very nicely. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not leaving. That's not what we're doing. And I'm here to listen to you and what's going on with you. But what I would have added to that, because she said it, but I would put it back on her. But babe, you definitely need to get some help.
Some serious counseling.
You've been through a lot.
Yep.
Everything's been traumatic, and you think that you're over it.
Yes.
But you really need to talk to someone so that you're not pushing me away. Because in the sense, it's like, I don't want you to self-sabotage. I don't want you to push me away.
Right.
I'm here. For me, I want to help you through it, because he does realize that being through this process, she's now coming to the self-awareness.
Right.
That she has some wounds.
Yeah. She's
been wounded.
Yeah.
And granted, I thank him for having the self-awareness, like, okay, she just realizing this. And just like I had my moment, I'm allowing her to have this moment that hopefully that she works on, now she recognizes it, to get the help she needs.
Yeah.
You know?
So again, they're all at the whiskey tasting and the line dancing. Mm-hmm. And Nicole is acting like she's auditioning to be the next expert on Married at First Sight.
You know, the people who are the most broken have the most advice. Because again, we can detour from, where she can detour and tell everybody else's problem. She don't have to share hers.
Yep.
There you go.
That's it.
It's not about her wanting to help. It's not about wanting her to really be there for them.
It's another way of controlling the narrative.
And it's diverting from her sharing her.
Yeah.
Because it would have been nice if someone like, Nicole, you know what? Why don't you share what's going on with you and Chris? instead of you deciding to share what I'm sharing with you with
Listen,
the group.
Every time she opens her mouth, I start hearing Run DMC. You talk too much and you never shut up. So yeah, she needs to close her mouth because I'm tired of her.
That's what she's doing. That's what it is.
So we'll talk about how that how that basically opened the door for Shaq and Kirsten's issue. But yeah, she talks way too much and about whatever. All right.
She's deflecting.
Yes. So then they do meet with Pastor Cal, right? And then now her issue is, well, he really didn't pick me.
It's deep. It's deep. That wound is deep. Pastor Cal is looking at her sideways, like, baby girl, let me help you to get out of this cave your mind is in.
Just pick.
Everybody here had to pick characteristics of what they see in their future spouse. Everyone had to say certain things that they wanted. Guess what? That was you. So you were picked unseen. And that's why y'all two are working out. In spite of everything else that we couldn't put on paper. Like, do you want someone self-sabotaging? Do you want... Because those are the things he would have said no to. But he had no way of knowing.
None.
So, again, until she continually, and hopefully she'll continue to get the counseling she needs to recognize those things. Because it's to me, it's sad. But unfortunately, it happens more often than, we want to talk about when people are in relationships, in a good, healthy relationship.
I got you. All right. And then the only other thing really of note is that, what's his name? Chris does say he loves her.
Yes. And she's like, oh. And we find out later on in the after parties that she had said it first.
Right. And she's been asking him every day for the past 18, however many weeks they're in right now. All right, so enough about them. Gina and Clint,
man,
they making po' boy sandwiches. They sitting on the...
That fish did look good.
It did look like, yeah.
He had a nice big piece. I would love a po' boy sandwich.
Yeah. They sitting on the balcony, hanging out, like, what up, bro? What up, sis?
Just chilling.
Just chilling. As friends.
Hanging out with Hank there.
So...
Man...
Even at the, for them, they've already decided they're going through the motions.
They are. Yeah.
Nothing major from them at the whiskey tasting. When Dr. Pepper does come, she is trying to get them to hold hands and do the touching thing and what have you. And it's like, what up?
She's like, do the waffle hands. Listen. What potentially could happen between them is they build this great friendship, and then when the camera's gone, they end up potentially being in a romantic relationship. Potentially. Because some people have to start as friends because they feel like good friends. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that happens.
Let me help you make that distinction. So there is more possibility of them becoming lovers than there is of Jasmine and Airris having a relationship and staying married. So there is a little more there, but that's not saying a whole lot, right?
Right, but
that's like, this is Jasmine and Airris, this is Gina and Clint.
I think it's a little bit higher because they naturally have fun together. So even if the show is over, I can still see them hanging out. I can see him coming over and getting Hank. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling y'all, Hank gonna go with Clint. Hank is like Clint.
So I can see potentially. Now, granted, I'm not gonna put a 2 week salary on it.
Oh no, I'm not letting you do that.
I'm not put 2 week salary on it. But I'm saying, when the heart gets fond, Father, like they said, they don't want to do anything alone. And then they realize that potentially they could have missed out because we see them laughing, we see them cooking, like dancing together.
I hear
and just
all that.
Enjoying their company.
But you keep forgetting there's that clip out there of Clint kissing up on Dominique and of McKinley saying that he's been sliding into Gina's DMs.
Listen, they've been doing a lot of individual self-care, so at the time it probably like they needed something. Just saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
You can throw that out there. You can hold on to that, but I ain't letting you put no money on that.
But, you know, they're cool. I just say they have a great friendship.
Yes.
And you can tell they have a great friendship. So.
Dr. Pepper's like, y'all need to watch some movies. She's like, y'all need to try Netflix and chill.
Right. I'm like, Dr. Pepper, you should have...
trying.
I would have told them too. Are we done? Are you guys good?
Are we finished or we done?
You know, if anything, again...
We can save money on these last 2 weeks in this apartment.
But at the same time, I think anytime when you spend time with people, they help you realize things about yourself you didn't recognize. Mm-hmm. So hopefully they gain some more self-awareness about themselves. Like, so when they're in a relationship, some of the things they want, they just won't stand for the minimum. Right. They're going to have a high standards that it's going to work out.
And Gina's not going to call somebody a ginger, and Clint's not going to talk about somebody being more athletic.
Nope.
All right. That was pretty much it for them. Nothing else. Yeah. Clint, at the line dancing, Clint was getting his boogie on.
He was dancing, boy. He was like, I could get into this.
Again, I'm actually liking Clint.
I like now. Clint. I'll tell you. I'll say I like Clint. I would hang out with Clint.
At first, it was like, I don't know about Clint,
but he was a suspect.
But I'm like, okay, Clint, cool.
Yeah.
Clint, yeah, he's a cool dude.
He's not as high maintenance
as he had originally appeared.
Yes. Because he came off as this loudmouth guy who don't know how to filter his mouth. Right. And then we just turned out, okay, you just overly excited. Yeah.
So. All right, and then everyone's favorite, Kirsten and Shaq. Mm-hmm. She is on the phone with his mother. Mama Shaq done called.
Mama Shaq.
Mama Shaq.
Oh, my God.
She's like, baby, you need to be more supportive of my son. And she brings up how Shaq was wanting her to be at the trip. Now, what we found out in the after party is that the trip was the Southern Classic, which is... Yeah. So it wasn't a
standard
team building out in the woods in meetings all day type of recruiting trip. It was the Southern Classic, which if you have ever been around HBCUs or been to some of their events, it's a pretty big deal.
It's a
right?
Party. It's pretty much
it's a big party, right?
Tailgate.
Now it's not Freaknik.
No, it's a tailgate party. I mean, everyone's having a good time. They're reminiscing. Normally, previous alumni get together and different stuff like that. But again, if she's, and we talked about this, when he made that statement where you can hang out with your friends, I can understand why he's saying that.
Yes.
But at the same time,
in that context,
then I was like, oh, okay, that does make sense. But it was like more of like, no, if I'm there, I want to be there for you,
right,
and not for my friends. And again, it was a miscommunication.
Yes.
Now, I'm always concerned about family. And family calling, telling me I need to do something for my spouse. When obviously he's only giving his perspective.
Yep.
And so now I have to try to be respectful.
And that be like, Mama Shaq,
I apologize, but I don't think he told you the whole story.
Yeah.
And let me run this down for you. This is what the whole story is. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate you, and I want to be supportive of him.
But you only know part of the story.
Don't be coming for me.
And that's, again, and I know we've said it before, and if you've been a fan of this channel for a while, you've probably heard us say this. But when you are having a disagreement with your spouse, your significant other, your partner, whatever it may be, don't call your family. Don't complain to your family. Don't tell them what's going on. Why? Because you will get over it, and you'll be fine. You'll work it out with your person, and your family won't know that, and they'll hold that person in the moment of when you were upset with them.
Yeah, and looking side eye and looking mean, and you like, what, Mom? Why you looking at her like that? We're in love, boy. You just told me yesterday she get on your nerves,
right?
Well, she ain't getting on my nerves right now. Okay. Because you just don't want to be a part of it.
Right. So then at the whiskey tasting and line dancing event, they're kind of talking, and Nicole.
She inserts herself into their relationship instead of talking about her own. Someone needs to put her in her place. say, Nicole, I need you to talk about your relationship. Because if you say one more thing that I don't share with you in private, in front of this group and in front of my spouse, we're going to have a conversation. That would end that quick and in a hurry.
I need Jasmine to get ready to throw hands with her. Let Jasmine throw hands with.
Why would she throw hands?
I think because Jasmine looked like she could throw hands.
But why would she throw hands against Nicole? Just because?
Just because I'm tied in Nicole's mouth.
Someone just needs to tell her. Like, okay, like, just stay focused on you.
Just be like, Nicole, shut up. I don't need to hear her story. Just shut up. Close your mouth.
She's not telling her story.
That's what I'm saying. You talking about ask her about her story. I don't care about her story. But she just needs to shut up.
If she wants to share something, she's going to share about herself. But it sounds like she don't want to share herself, right?
So she needs to close her mouth.
So she'll be quiet.
So anyway, she says something and Shaq is like, oh, you ain't going to say nothing, Kirsten? All right, I'm out. So he walks out. And at first, because we had to rewind it. Because at first we were like, did we miss something?
Did she say something?
She just was rambling on. And Kirsten, I know I'm going to say this. And you can get at me if you want to. But and then he walked out.
We were like, what happened?
We were like, wait, what? Did something else be said?
Oh my God. I was like, what happened? Well, she said that, she was sorry for what happened to me before you even said, because Nicole didn't even give her an opportunity to say anything. And second of all, if I understand in the after party, he had already told her about this situation. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming in the moment, she had already supported him. Now, granted, if you were right in the moment and now you're sharing with a big group, right. But she says, like, I was patting your back. I was showing you to keep yourself calm.
And that she was letting you know I'm present here with you.
Yes.
And sometimes, and that's the thing I think Shaq needs to learn, is that sometimes nothing needs to be said.
Thank you.
Sometimes just the fact that you are there with me. Right. There have been times where we've been in places and we can't really say what is on our mind, right. But we're on the same page because we're holding hands. Right. I'll squeeze her hand, let her know.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna exit this as soon as we can.
Right.
Or when somebody says something and she knows I'm about to, she taps my leg and it's like, we good. We're gonna let this ride and we're gonna move forward, right? So he's got to learn that not everything has to be said. Sometimes it's just the physical connection that you all have that will help you to know that she's there and she's there with you and for you.
I think Shaq be moody sometimes.
Yeah.
He be moody.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute he's in a good mood and then he don't get his way and he got he's pouty and stuff. But instead of him just verbally saying, like, what does support look like to you?
Yes. I
can't support you if I don't know how it's supposed to,
right.
What it's supposed to look like for you.
So they go out and they have their conversation. She's like, look, you need to tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Oh, wow. Tell me what you need. Y'all know. I didn't sing it right, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Tell me if it ain't good enough for you, babe. So basically she's like, tell me. All right. So then they go back in and basically, I forgot how it comes up, but it was like, Jasmine was like, I'm going to go ahead and help you out. I'm going to, as far as at the espresso martini craft cocktail they were doing, they were, because Jasmine was like, all he need to do is he just need to be assertive. He just needs to say it and I'm ready. So Jasmine was like, look, I'm telling you right now, you got to be assertive. You got to, and Shaq's like, and they're like, be assertive. Okay. He spills the beans that they have had sex.
Yeah.
Now, we had seen it. Yeah. It was a few episodes before. It was like, it's going down that night.
It's going down.
But they kept acting like they hadn't.
Right. And so everybody like, oh.
And then we find out the after party, they've been active for a little while.
Right.
It's not like just, it's been going for a while.
Long.
Right.
That wall wasn't up as long as we thought that wall
They figured that part out.
Right.
How they could support each other that way.
Right. So he gives support.
Yes. He gives
support.
So, she does say that they meet with Devon together, and they bring up the incident from the line dancing, and she takes ownership. She says, "You know what? I think we both dropped the ball." She's at least saying, "You know what? We both are learning this communication thing. We both kind of messed up in this area." She's not putting the blame on him.
Right.
Now he still is kind of putting the blame on her.
Correct.
But she's trying to take ownership and say, "I don't know everything. I haven't gotten it all together. We kind of are learning this thing together."
And she's right. And I think Devon does call Shaq out saying, "Okay, man, you want her to be supportive, but she is showing up. So when are we going to get to the place where we see her for what she is doing?"
Right.
Because then it'll get to a point that what she does is not enough.
Right.
And then you're resenting her. And then she says, "I can never please him." So we need to come to terms, work through this, and you can never assume. You have to tell people what they want. Why are you putting expectations on someone if you never express what you wanted at the beginning?
The unspoken expectations.
Yes. And so I think they really had a good breakthrough, I hope, in this, session. And again, it takes time when you're joining two different people, how you were raised and all that stuff to work together.
Because he does ask him, he's like, "Okay, let's get specifics. What does support look like to you?" So he runs down some things, and she's like, "Okay, you forget I do this, I do this, I did this, I did this, I did that." He's like, "Yeah, well," and Devon is like, "Well, bruh, stop diminishing what she's doing. You're wanting her to do it in the way that you want her to do it, and she's still trying to do it. So like you said, if you keep it up, she's going to pull back because you're not taking or accepting of what she's already trying to do to support you."
Yeah.
So I think that was it for and Kirsten Nicole go laundry shopping. That was
again, she's working on her body image, right? And being appreciative of her body.
Yes.
And she wants to do something for Chris, which is great. She's getting more body image, and at the same time, Chris gets a little present.
Yes. So, all right, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I think we've got probably just another couple episodes.
Yeah, maybe 3.
I've probably 2, maybe 3. Yeah, because they'll probably do like a "how do we get here" type of thing. So we'll see. But yeah, we're here for it. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what we might have missed, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.